Do something.
So, Dragon Quest swords.
When I first found this game in a second-hand shop, I was confused. At that time, I'd only just started playing RPGs seriously, and only getting about a third of the way through Dragon Quest VIII, a game I'm tending to think of now, thanks to the upcoming 3DS version. So, when I found this game, I was rather surprised that there was a spin-off to Dragon Quest at all. I decided to try it out, and when I put it into my Wii, I was still surprised. This was due to two things. One, it looked and sounded great to me, and I initially found Wii games to be rather lackluster, especially thanks to third-party games. The second thing was, well, its genre. Sure, I expected an RPG, that's why I bought it. Sure, I expected it to be easy, but I didn't expect a first-person on-rails game. Other than Fallout and similar games, I never heard of a first-person RPG, let alone a first-person JRPG. And that fact drew me in. Oh, and just so you know, this is a full review, so spoilers are ahead. When I started to play this game, the first thing that I paid attention to was the story. The land of Avalonia was once tormented by a demon called Xiphos the Deathbringer, who was barely defeated by a group of warriors. After his defeat, the land would work to fix the damage, and also celebrate their newfound freedom. This leads to the game's events. Our hero, son of Claymore, one of the warriors who fought Xiphos, is charged with proving himself when he turns 16, by defeating a knight who tries to kill him, and all the other creatures that try to kill him. All alone, without any appropriate magic, without a good sword, only searching around the town and castle for medicinal herbs and coins. Okay, I know this is an RPG, and you tend to start weak and alone, but come on, that's like sending the kid from the Pokemon games out to the first gym without giving them a starter or any Pokeballs.
Thanks for saving my ass out there. I mean, it was almost fried. Pokemon, you know. Cover yourself in their food. Suddenly they think you can just eat you or something. No, you can't. I mean, what do you think this is? A charity case? You go out and you wrestle Pokemon like real men. Cover yourself in grease and roll around there in the dirt. That's good. That's good. You should be more like my nephew Geraldo. What a prick. What a prick. That Geraldo. What a guy. I say prick? Guy. Dude. Fellow.
I mean, okay, I get it. I have to prove I'm a man. But seriously, no help. Not even a guy following you to help you out if you need it. Oh, no, I'm mistaken. There's a guy waiting outside of the cave that has all the monsters in, who is invisibly armed. What's he gonna do? Shout at the monsters? Hit imminent death over the head with a stick he found lying about? Anyway, after beating Sir Worthington in the cave, you return home to find out that the Queen has gone missing, and her son, Prince Alance, sorry if I messed up the pronunciation, wants your father to escort him on his mission to find her. Daddy Dearest refuses, so the prince asks the hero for help. And whenever asked, I told the prince to go away. After all, the guy didn't even want my help until Claymore suggested it. It took me about an hour of repeating the same dialogue choices to realise that I have to help the prince, or just make up my own ending. The voice acting in this game varies throughout.
They think it's all over. It is now.
It's not incredible, but it's not always too cheesy. But when it's cheesy, by God does it get cheesy. The characters are well designed and the voices matched, with them each having unique personalities and relationships. Each of the main characters are also named after a sword, which links to the title of the game and is a quirk that I quite like. However, I really do not like Anlance, and I do not actually know why. He just bugs me. Granted, as an on-rails game, there isn't much in the way of exploring, which is one of the main selling points of an RPG. Most levels offer one, maybe two alternative paths to follow, but ultimately end in a dead end. The levels range from short and easy and long and boring quite easily as well. Despite this, I found most levels enjoyable and distinctive, with my favourite places, due to design, enemies and music, being the levels I spent most time grinding in. Oh, and believe me, like any other RPG, I spend lots of time grinding, and the assist characters really start to grate on me. After seeing the Queen, the Prince leaves, leaving the hero along with Fleurette, a former nun, and extremely jarring character for me. A goth-looking girl with a French accent in a medieval British setting. Not that it's bad, it just confuses me. There is no other character in this game, to my knowledge, that does not sound at least a bit British. I mean, compare her
That is none of your concern.
to this cockney fella.
They think it's all over. It is now. And the winner is Swordmaster Dow.
Jarring, right? Anyway, Fleurette drags you to Arendron Heights, I think it is, because she thinks that something was off with the Queen, and was right. We discovered earlier that the Queen has taken to wearing a mask, and as we now learn, the mask resembles the one that was worn by Xiphos. The two return to town, only for Claymore to drag the hero to another battle as a sea monster has appeared. You fight it, and Fleurette and Anlance appear, telling the hero to stop, as it turns out the monster is actually Fleurette's brother, and one of the warriors who fought Xiphos and was a friend of Claymore's. Ouch. Imagine the talk Claymore and that guy had next time they met.
Yeah, so, dude, I just want to apologise for cheering my son on to kill you, and laughing like a maniac when, flying you through dunes. You! Well, I guess I deserve that.
From here, big spoilers are given. You've been warned. Anyway, the guy leaves, probably due to his current state as a cursed monster, and embarrassment that a 16-year-old just beat him up. The group gets information that the Queen was seen at the Tower of Mirrors, prompting them to give chase. When they reach her, the Queen has already opened a portal, and, fearing the worst, the hero destroys the mask the Queen was wearing, believing it to possess the spirit of Xiphos. This proves to be a bad move, as Xiphos appears and starts to mock the hero, thanking him for destroying the only thing that could destroy him. After attempting to stop Xiphos, the group realise how hopeless their situation is. They decide to go to the place where the mask was made, so they can try and fix it. This leads them back into the Tower of Mirrors, and then they encounter and fight Draug. Upon beating him, he fixes the mask, and gives the hero the sword Redensunder, which is super effective against Xiphos. Swordmaster Dow, aka Tutorial Guy, teaches the hero the figure of fate that splits the lava surrounding Xiphos' castle in half. The group finds Xiphos, who has just, finished beating Fleurette's brother, causing him to make a new body and dispelling the curse. Xiphos does the classic boss thing in which he reveals he has a second ultimate form, and yeah, this battle is probably one of the hardest in the game, although thanks to the battle system... Wait a minute. The battle system was the biggest difference from any other Dragon Quest game, and I've only just started talking about it now. Well, battles take place in a first-person perspective, in which the player can swing their Wii remote, or their sword, in any of 8 directions, as well as thrusting. Thrusting is almost impossible for me to pull off in this game. I mean, how difficult is it to stab right in front of you?
Okay, I'm gonna stab. That was up. Stab, God! Pick that up. Screw you!
Your sword can deflect some ranged attacks from the enemy, simply by hitting them. That's all you do, swing to hit. Other than your sword, you have a shield, which only blocks. shields deteriorate over time, which I think is a nice touch, but it isn't implemented that well, as you can only equip one weapon and one shield every level, and they aren't exactly destroyed as they return to normal at the end of the level. It is a bit nitpicky, but I would have been interested in seeing an RPG in which shields or weapons in general don't last forever, other than Fire Emblem or Skyward Sword. But we won't talk about that. Like other RPGs, you can also use spells and items, so same old, same old. Anyway, after beating Zyphos, you shove the mask onto his face and it petrifies him. Knowing it won't stop him, the hero proceeds to destroy the frozen villain. The castle then starts to collapse with the hero still inside. They try to escape, and the player character falls before he can do so. Luckily, Florette grabs him and admits her feelings to him. Wait, she had feelings for him. Whenever I played this game, the hero was a jerk and kind of dumb. Huh. Weird. Anyway, the game ends the same way it started, with a celebration in the honour of the brave heroes who defeated Zyphos the Deathbringer. And yeah, that was my total experience with Dragon Quest Sword. It has an enjoyable story, enjoyable characters for the most part, and really that's all I can say. I'm not going to rate it out of 10 or anything, but I will definitely say if you get the chance, play it. Now if you excuse me, I need to go talk to a real Pokemon professor about getting me my bloody Pokemon, unlike Professor Willow.
Thank you for saving me from those wild Pokemon, dear child. No! When I was your age, I had to work for my Pokemon. What do I look like, some sort of charity? Privileged little shit.